Hello, hello! Bl'Artagnan here with eyes on the prize, the Mayfair event Lufenia Plus fight. We're bringing a Tree Void challenge team. That means no BT, no BT Plus, no friend unit, no synergy, and a number of characters banned, including Arciella 9, Maria, Furion, and probably a couple others. We're bringing your team, though. This team features Seifer, Kled, and Layla. Before we get too deep into it, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, ring that notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Okay, got that out of the way. So this is gonna be a testy one. It's a little stressful one. You can see it takes a little bit of time because Layla's here, and that's how that works. We're bringing Seifer too. Like, what the hell? Seifer? Why? Well, that's a lot of good damage right there. Check that. You'll see we actually opened the fight by having Layla get absolutely blasted by both of the recasts, and that was kind of scary. The reason that we have the team that we have here, I mean, obviously, Kled's here because we need Spear, and because he's really, really good. Layla's here to help us with the orb there. You see that dodge? She's going to be dodging all over the place. She'll also, I guess, party auras, healing, whatever, but she's here to deal with the orb with that dodge. Keep us nice and safe. Seifer's actually the piece of the puzzle that that ties it all together here. He's our main damage dealer. He's going to be dealing copious amounts of the deeps. It's damage per Seifers. And he's actually going to be the reason that Layla's going to be surviving these recasts. Because as you know, these recasts are guaranteed hit, and Layla just kind of will have to take them in the face. Kind of lewd. Anyway, and so Seifer, even though this fight is delay immune, has a lot of use and utility here because in addition to that sweet damage, he brings Brave damage off from his EX, and he brings reduced Brave gains from his LD. That's the thing. We always think about Seifer as a delay character nowadays, but he actually has some potent debuffs. He has, max Brave down, attack down, Brave gain reduction, and Brave gain or Brave damage negation all built into his kit, and that's going to all come in real handy here. You'll see the important thing for dealing with this orb, though, because of that guaranteed hit, is going to be alternating which of them has the recast going on, and that means pushing their threshold, like alternating their which threshold you push, not having them go under 80 and under 50 and under 30 at the same time, because it's very important that whichever of them you're not pushing is going to hit us with a dodgeable attack so we can get the orb going. I'm going to make this weird decision throughout here to make sure that happens. I also did some poor buff management here. Well, it gets weird with Kled because he charges the EX so fast and you want to press those EXs. Like Seifer, I let his LD buff fall off there because I was like, ooh, shiny EX button, gotta press it. And so he got pressed. We've brought a number of some eclectic calls to get through this. One of which we won't end up using, although in some of the other versions of this run I tried putting together, it was quite useful. We have a Gladio call on Layla, because the LD basically turns her invincible a la Gladio. We won't end up using it, but it was an emergency button for if they ended up with back-to-back recasts despite my best efforts, so we just survived that. Relatedly, we have Reno on Kled, because his that LD pyramid debuff is quite handy for dealing with the thresholds, because it doesn't go away if they miss, so you can just drop it on them and be like, alright, whatever. Next time you do a recast, it doesn't count. The last one is I'm telling you just to reset the orb in the event that I mismanage things and it gets really hairy. So for those of you wondering how to play Layla, this is my first time using her on camera. It's all about just buff management. Just manage her buffs and overhead, and just make sure none of that falls off, and you'll be good. She sure does make the fight take a long time. Very powerful character, really versatile, very powerful. Shout out to Sinewave, but goddamn does she take forever once when you start using her, because you get that counter animation every time, and her damage isn't that amazing, but really solid for for an on-turn, off-turn damage team. You see here we pushed the threshold there, I should have mentioned. Got them below 50 on the one side, but not on the other, so that we could dodge A's attack after B did the recast, and now A has the recast and we'll dodge B's attack, and that's how we're going to be getting through this. Kind of annoying that we're going to have to double LD with Seifer, because again, as you can see, the amount of damage we're taking. We have a number of mitigation tools. Layla's AA, we have those calls I talked about, we have Seifer's max Brave down, Brave gain, reductions, all that. We want to make sure those are all stacked up, because I don't want to suddenly find out that I've miscalculated and Layla's dead. So we had to make sure that B got Purge onto it, or Foul, sorry, Foul is the name of it. We put Foul onto B, and now we're going to have to reapply Foul, because A cleansed, but that's okay. We'll still have plenty of Foul for the rest of the fight. I'm kind of slow rolling things with Lil a little bit. I could be a bit more aggressive with his LD usage, but I want to kind of save those for later in the fight. Basically to pump out more damage as it's getting a bit tenser, and also to help offset the orb since it heals the party. Well, I guess it heals his allies, doesn't heal him. Well, anyway. Here we are. Spamming that cool Seifer. Look at that. That's a lot of damage. Even late in the fight with a weird team. And so the rest of this fight is just going to be, and I mean, it's going to be the same thing that it was up to this point, which is dodging with Layla and trying to time things. What we're trying to do ideally is we'd like to get the one with the recast charged under their health threshold. So you see here, he had the recast charge B, and now he recharges the recast, and so that I kind of skipped the recast cycle there. The fewer recasts we have to deal with, the better, because every time they have a recast, that's an opportunity to check the orb gone. That's the thinking there. Shoutouts to Treeboyd for putting these challenges together. If you're interested in what those entail, you can join the TCC Discord. I have the link in the description to this video. Generally, he tries to do kind of like a Abyss or Crevice style, lockout challenges for a cycle, but for this event, he just kind of did like a single one-off, because this was kind of a one-off event in a weird sort of way. It's technically part of the Kieran BT cycle, but it's not, sort of, it's weird. So it's not part of that, but it's good stuff. I appreciate the effort being put in to kind of make things a bit more interesting, because there are a number of ways you can run this fight. You can do the Dragoon dodge thing I did in my last video. You can just blow it up with BT Plus with the right setup. You can bring the synergies Adon, Freya, and just kind of deal with it that way. A lot of off-turn damage, Furion, of course, or Maria, as I was doing in my very first video, I believe. Or you can do what I'm doing here, and do like a weird hybrid dodge tank team. And I appreciate that, because I was worried at first that the first couple times I ran this fight, I was like, this seems pretty restrictive. I feel like this is very specific things. You see here, by the way, making sure that A doesn't get their recast so that B can use their recast, and then we dodge A's attack. It's all about that back and forth, and that means making sure that you don't accidentally push one of them below the threshold. I say that, but I realized at this point, I was like, I think I do things up, because I misjudged who was going when. Because the way Layla's dodges work, they basically are going to alternate who goes, because you dodge in front of, you'll dodge A and then B goes next, then you dodge B and then A goes next, and so on and so forth. I kind of miscalculated this thing, so we're just going to use Reno to dodge both of these recasts. And you remember earlier I mentioned having a Mediterranean called in case I goofed up as like a backup plan, but we're going to use exactly that. Quickly set the defense down, get that AA going with Seifer, because he's all about that brave damage. Now here we go, quick reset of the orb, thank you Ami. Then we're going to jump into Ifrit. Get that sweet Hellfire. Sadly, we're probably not... Well, we might be able to get 2 EXs out of this with Seifer. We'd love to see that. And now that they're both below their thresholds and they both have the recasts gone, first of all, we want to kill them before the recast comes back, if possible, just because we won't be able to dodge at that point, if they're both recasting at us. We also, since Seifer is all about, and Layla too, is all about group brave damage, like all of his attacks are big AoE hits, we want A to die at the same time as B, so we had kind of been pushing them unevenly up to this point. Now we want to try to even things out, because otherwise, if one of them dies and the other's still alive, that cuts Seifer's damage in half, basically. There we go. Seifer keeping us safe with his EX, not that it was a huge threat, but it's good to have that anyway. Alright, so we're close to closing this out. The turn count's very silly. We've taken so many turns, but it doesn't actually count because Layla's stupid. Has taken a while though, my gosh. When was the last time I had a 10-minute long run video? Goodness. Well, that about wraps it up here. You see, B's about to go, but they're dead now, so guess we're gonna have to kill this guy. Here we go. Demon Slice X, take us home, Seifer. There we have it. Tree Void Challenge out of the way. No BT, no synergy. None of those banned units. 9 Ciela, Furion, Maria, whoever else it was. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. That'll be it. Adios.